do you get the best results from your exercise program? Why would you waste time exercising if you're not going to get the results that you want? And I always ask, if you are exercising, should you be able to demand, I'm healthy, fit and strong. I've got a stack of energy. I perform at my best. I love the way I look in the mirror. I love the way my body feels to touch. And I'm getting the results that I want from my exercise program. Shouldn't that be something you can demand from time investment when it comes to exercise? So what happened to common sense? Apparently not very common. So here's a great question. If you were designing an exercise program from scratch and you didn't know anything about exercise, all you knew is that you had to get somebody puffed so they could fight and flight, so they could run away from a threat or they could fight the threat. If you knew that you had to get muscles and bones really strong so that people were strong enough to run away from the threat or to fight the threat, what would you do? How would you get people fit and how would you get them strong? And this is where it becomes really ridiculous. I've been doing this all of my life. I'm an exercise professional. I have been exercising every day of my life since I was 10 years of age. And I'm pre-framing with that because I listen to all the rubbish. I listen to the experts, so-called. I listen to the doctors, the physiotherapists, the chiropractors, the exercise physiologists, and they all seem to copy each other, which is not understanding how the human body works, anatomy and physiology, and applying anatomy and physiology to exercise. So, question. If you were designing an exercise program for somebody, would it be in the upright position or the lying down position? The only time we lie down, technically, is when we're sleeping or relaxing. So why would we exercise on the floor or on our knees or on our ass? The human body doesn't move on its ass, it doesn't move in a kneeling position, and it doesn't move lying down. And yet you can go to any gym, any personal training studio, any exercise session at all in the world and see people rolling around on the floor like a cockroach or on their knees or on their backside. And I don't get it. I'll rephrase, I do get it because I was conned by that too. Because everybody else was doing it, I followed the crowd like a silly sheeple and didn't think for myself. Because common sense says if I need to run away from a threat, if I need to be fit and strong, do I need to do that in the upright position or the lying down position? There you go. Next question. If an exercise is unsafe, so if it puts unnecessary shearing forces through a joint, and as I always share, if you push a joint together or you pull it apart, it can't grind because there's nothing to grind. But if you start doing this to a joint, is it possible that it will wear away? Now the answer of course is yes. So why are there so many silly exercises where this is going on at speed, with momentum, with a weight, where you're grinding the joint? And I share this with you from a very personal experience. I'm lucky to be in the upright position because at 18 years of age I had a serious back injury. I perforated a disc in my L4, L5 in my spine. The orthopedic surgeon said to me, you've screwed up your back, seriously screwed up your back. Have you been doing sit-ups? Now sit-ups are a classic example. Sit-ups, crunches, even planks, anything on the floor. Is when you're on the floor, obviously you're not working out effectively. But if you're doing this to a joint, round and round, this, and I used to do thousands of sit-ups every day, you're going to wreck the joint, you're going to wear it away. So I ended up with, if you look at my x-rays, I have no vertebral disc between L4 and 5 in my spine because I wore it away from doing sit-ups on the floor. So the most stupid exercise. It's on the floor, it's not overloading your muscles and bones because all you're lifting is your own head or your own upper body, and you're just wearing your joint away. And you don't burn any fat, which is one of the reasons why people tend to do sit-ups or crunches or planks or whatever. And planks is just an upside down sit-up where you're still on the floor, you're still in the lying down position, instead you're holding yourself upright with gravity pushing through that L4, L5, causing that the human body is not designed to support itself in that position. So just as you can hear in my voice, I'm very passionate about this because if you are injured, you can't be healthy, fit and strong. If you don't apply common sense to your exercise program, it won't work. You don't have to be an exercise physiologist. You don't have to be an expert in the human body. Just look at it from a common sense point of view. So upright position or on the ground, obviously you'd pick upright. If you're going to be doing this to a joint, it's going to hurt it. So why would you do an exercise that's going to grind your joints? Silly thing to do. If an exercise program is really long, apart from the fact that you're going to get bored, you can exercise hard or you can exercise long, but you can't do both. And the energy system, and if you study your anatomy and physiology, this is just common sense, the energy system that's designed in our body to keep us alive, the fight and flight system, which is to fight the animal and kill it so it can eat, or run away from it so it doesn't kill you, that phosphate system only lasts for 10 seconds, and it's the only energy system in the body where you're actually working at 100% effort. Now you might exercise for a half an hour, and it feels like 100% effort, But the further you get away from zero, obviously you have to start pacing yourself. So I'm not into wasting time. I don't know about you. I don't have time to waste. I'm an old lady. I've only got a few years and I'll rephrase that. We used to think you could live to 120, which means I'm technically only halfway through my life, and the oldest person alive now I think is 126. But the experts in longevity are suggesting that if we stay fit and if we stay strong, we could live a very long time with great quality of life. So I'm in here, I call this the anti-aging room. I'm in the gym so that I stay fit and I stay strong. But I get puffed in 10-second bursts. I lift heavy in 10-second bursts because that's the 100% effort system. I don't do anything that's going to hurt my joints, because if I've got hurt joints, I can't do anything. And I do my exercise program really fast so that I can feel good quickly. Obviously, the major benefit is that your brain feels fantastic. You've got a stack of energy and you feel like you want to go and do other stuff. But I don't want to waste time on something that's not going to give me a great result. So upright position, no grinding through your joints. Keep your exercise program really short, hard and fast so that you don't get bored and you get results really quickly. 100% effort, 100% result, big exercises, big results. And that's probably the last question. Why would you do little exercises when there's a big exercise option? And is it possible? Of course it is, that if you use the big muscles and you do the big compound exercises, all the little muscles are being used as well. And there's a simple analogy for that. If I've got a chain, a metal chain, and I've got big links in the chain and I've got little links in the chain, and I'm going to pull something with that chain, so let's say I'm going to tow a car, the weakest link in that performance, in that exercise, in that towing my car is the little link. So if the little link breaks, then it doesn't matter how big or thick the big link is, I won't be able to do the activity because the little link is broken. And that's what happens when you overtrain a little muscle, which is always being used in the big exercises. Because in a big exercise, the limiting factor, of course, is the little muscle. So I can say, look, I'm using my legs, great. But if I am using, obviously to stay in the upright position, I have to use my abdominals and my lower back muscles. So they are being used at full capacity, even though the biggest muscles in my body are in my legs. So my glutes, my hamstrings, my quadriceps, they're the ones. So I have to make sure that I don't overtrain my smaller muscle groups, because otherwise my big muscle groups don't get overtrained. It's the little ones, and when they're overtrained, they get injured. The big one is with the upper body, because we talk about chest and back, which is the big muscles of the upper body. But the smallest limiting factor in your upper body exercises is your shoulders, but not even your shoulders, it's inside the shoulder cavity, which is your supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and subscapularis, which are four tiny little muscles that hold that big bone inside a cavity, and it's only a hollow cavity. So if you don't look after those little muscles, if you don't give them time to recover, if you keep overusing them from doing little exercises, you screw up your shoulder joint, you'll screw up your elbows, you screw up your fingers, your knees, your hips, and your big muscles don't get injured, it's your little ones. So here's a great question. Would it be a really good idea to apply some common sense to exercise? In the upright position, short, hard and fast, no shearing forces, and get away from the little exercises that screw up your joints and stick with the big exercises. Compression forces and traction forces rather than shearing forces. And if you want to be healthy, fit and strong for the rest of your life, wouldn't it be good to exercise short, hard and fast to get the best results in the shortest period of time in the safest way possible so you don't get injured? I'm pretty passionate about this, can you tell? Because I want to stay young, healthy, fit and strong for the rest of my life, and I am an old lady and I'm going to keep getting older, but I'm going to keep getting fitter, stronger, healthier and even more energetic. That sounds awesome to me. Woohoo! Super duper doo. How are you? Living my life to the max, healthy, fit and strong. Yeah, yeah.